Aha, we're
Yeah.
Hey,
Like
we're
I like how
live.
that's the worst countdown. It's not even like 5, 4, 3. It's all
Hey, I can't.
there it is.
There it is.
That's an old dirty bastard count right there.
Yeah,
It's like
fitting actually.
it's an old black man type of thing. Like there's no ruler involved. There's no real measurement going on. But you're like, there it is.
I mean, that was the running theme of
Yeah.
this past week, and everybody was like the black unit of measure and stuff. And I literally put down the street because I've done that to D a couple times. Yeah, D, I'm down the street as I'm getting off of Suitland
No,
Parkway.
down the street. See, here's the thing about this. Down the street, and you one of these niggas too, Chris. It varies nigga from nigga. It does.
Me, I'm like 15 minutes away.
When my dad said no, Chris, when you say I'm down the street, that's a whole goddamn hour.
Fair enough. Fair.
When is my dad?
Yeah,
when my dad says it's down the street, he is probably the only black person I know. When he says it's down the street, it's literally walking distance. He's the only person that has ever done that to me.
Proper unit of measure. Proper unit of measure.
Nah, see, that would surprise me because when I say 15 minutes, that can mean an hour, 45 minutes.
But anyways,
sure ain't no.
We're here to talk about episode 1 of Lovecraft Country, and after seeing it twice and stuff, and I know D's seen it one time, and Anthony's seen it one time. I definitely have varying opinions on the show, so to speak. I did enjoy it, but I'll let D and Anthony start up first on their thoughts on the whole episode. I guess starting with D and then go to Anthony. And nothing.
Are you talking, sir? Because did you just leave?
I don't know.
Again,
I don't know
or,
what happened. He ain't saying.
Well, should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Should I go? All right. Oh, he's gone now.
He'll jump back in.
So this is my first. I know you guys got the 5-episode block. Or
actually, no,
right?
we got the first episode. We didn't get the 5 episodes. So yeah, I had time to. I had personal time to marinate on the first episode. So my opinion on the first episode is a little different than my initial thoughts, but not drastically. So
Okay, so I'm gonna say that I love Lovecraftian horror, right? Like I love it. Like yes, he's problematic. Yes, there's a lot of things going on, but like a lot of stuff we watch today is built on Lovecraft, from like Batman, Game of Thrones, like Hellboy, like all that stuff has a genesis from Lovecraft. So I was really excited to see Lovecraftian horror on HBO, especially with a long storytelling format that series give you. The most recognizable, Chris, what do you think the most recognizable creature or monster from Lovecraft is?
Cthulhu is like the one that every damn outlet uses, media, movie, TV show use Cthulhu. That's like the main one. And
Cthulhu's not even really important in the myth, but like people know it, right? Yeah. So to see Cthulhu get beat with a bat in the first
off, that was Jackie Robinson, sir. Put some respect on Jackie Robinson, son.
I didn't know the bat did all that. So I was looking forward to, and you accused, like you point this out to me. Sometimes I'll build stories in my head, so I was looking forward to this. Like 1930s, 40s, like you have a soldier coming back, maybe PTSD. Or shell shock, whatever we called it back then, coming in, navigating the racist South while, and using that book. That's a great premise, but also getting deeper involved in this Lovecraftian cult, maybe that it's worship Cthulhu or something like that, or seeing different Cthulhu type stories integrated into the story, and then slowly realizing that like humanity, because the real terrifying thing of the Cthulhu mythos is that we don't mean shit. Like humans don't really mean anything. So and I was really looking forward to that. And I don't think that this show, at least for the first episode, got the suspense it takes to get to that. The timing didn't get to that. You know what I mean? Didn't get at all.
Yeah.
The build up, because most of the build up was more racial tension than it was monster tension, or more otherworldly tension. You know what I mean? Yeah. They built on that tension, which was, say what you will about it, that is one way of doing it in a way, because you'd get all this racial tension, and all of a sudden, boom, 50-eyed monster. It's like, wait, pump it real quick, real quick. Look, that's tonal whiplash. You can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
And the rural South is a really great place in that time area to build like this Cthulhu, like a Cthulhu cult or something like that, or a town in that setting. So I was looking forward to
actually,
it.
this is in Massachusetts, though, isn't it?
Chicago. They go from he went from
they go from Chicago to Massachusetts.
Yeah,
he took a bus. He was taking a bus from Florida to Chicago, and then Chicago to Massachusetts.
You're right.
So they were basically up north.
But even then, before the highways. Right, but even before the highways is what I'm saying. Like you got all these states that that aren't easily gotten to like they are now with the highways. So that's a great setting for this type of story. Except I felt like Keanu Ivy Reigns was coming up every 2 seconds going, message. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
No. You know what did it? You know what did it? You know what actually did it? The second I heard the James Baldwin, I was like, oh fuck you. And I love every single syllable that falls out of James Baldwin's mouth. But a second I heard it. Well, I was talking. I was like, oh fuck you, move.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Like Watchmen episode 1, they got you like off rip with the Black Wall Street thing, right?
Drop that heavy hand bullshit.
So
that's how you do
it. So I think with this, and it's it's not just Lovecraft Country, it's a lot of other shows that do this, black shows particularly. I feel there's a level of, if you're taking place in a period piece, there are some people that tend to sanitize that period piece where black people just walk around white people like racism doesn't exist, right? That tends to happen, and you get some people that critique it. That's one spectrum. And then you got the spectrum of this show, which, like you said, it'll hit that like, it was like this guy was like, hey, say pretty please, nigga. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, I know they call you nigga back there. I didn't know they say that. Like, okay.
But you know what? Here's the funny thing. It's actually funny. White people it's always white people that critique. They're like, oh, that's too racist. Like, y'all don't know how racist y'all really fucking sound. But I told y'all this, and I said this several times, and I'll say it forever. The worst type of racism is when white people don't call you nigga.
Yeah, it's subtle,
right? And it's the subtle, the microaggressions and things like that. It's the real scary thing, and so this is my thing. They kept hitting you over the head with this racist, and I think Watchmen's like Tulsa storyline. I think it was such an impactful moment culturally that I think they're trying to replicate that and make a whole show about that kind of thing. And when something happened that they did do well with the Sundown Law thing, that was actually done well. But to me, everything that came before it, like that ridiculous car chase through town from the diner.
I ain't gonna lie though, the White House tidbit was interesting because I never knew that little small tidbit about it. I was like, okay, that's actually interesting, and they kind of tied it into where they were at. But it was like, oh, okay, and then it's like car chase, and it's like, okay, all right.
So I missed that. Why was the place was burnt? Why was that important?
Oh, it was just to kind of show like basic white supremacy and stuff like that. That place they were at was formerly black owned, and they burned it down and they put it was black owned formerly. That's why when they said it was supposed to be a red brick building, it was like, is this the place? And he was like, well, I mean, they might change the name. So it was formerly owned by black people. They burned it down and then they repainted it up, and it was a white establishment afterwards. That's why they picked up on like, oh shit.
Well, they kept trying to hit me over the. Right, but they kept trying to hit me over the head that they're smart. Yeah, I get they're smart. Like that's fine. But they kept trying to like name drop books they've read. Like people that are smart don't do that. Like we're not name dropping.
Well, it was like
no, they don't.
That was like the first 2 episodes of Luke Cage season 1.
Oh,
it was like,
God.
all right, hey Luke, why are we saying bell hooks? I get it, it's fine, but it's like,
Hey Anthony, I'm gonna throw one good one at you. Did you notice the book that was on his dad's bed? It was the Count of Monte Cristo. How much do you want to bet that comes into play at the end of all this shit? Also, by the way, a lot of black people are waking up to the fact that Alex Dumas, who the person that wrote it, was a black person. So that's a big thing too now. So add that in there for layers. God damn it, I hate that.
And And there are also books that had movies made out of them pretty recently, so that people know what they're talking about. Type of book. So I was like, oh, you're not making me work for this shit. Like,
I just know it will, but whatever.
And then they're all special, right?
Yeah.
And the point of Lovecraft is, I don't care how smart a human you are, you ain't special. You ain't shit.
Oh yeah,
and that's the horror. That's the horror of it.
Oh, that being said, Courtney B. Vance is the first one. He's the first one.
Between the broken knees, the old, yeah.
The old people sex that he had in the beginning of the show. Good for him.
Listen. Look, I knew HBO was gonna do some sex scene, but him fingering his wife and then going full tilt into cell, I was like, okay, you going for it? All right, cool.
Hey, look. I know why Angela Bassett stayed with that nigga. It ain't because of the fingers. It's because of his massive penis.
Look, this guy.
Real talk. I always thought that the only reason why she stayed with Courtney, no bullshit, his mustache was the shit to her. Like for her, nah, that mustache, oh my God, my man got the best one. Like to us, we like, what, bitch? But for her,
dude, I swear,
that's ice cream, nigga.
I pegged Courtney Vance earlier on when I remember seeing him back in like the 90s. I forgot which movie it was. It might have been the shit with Denzel and Whitney Houston.
What, Preacher's Wife?
Yeah, Preacher's Wife. I always pegged him as a Tim Reed type person, like a little corny. And then as I saw his movies, I'm like, oh, he really isn't Tim Reed. Okay, my apologies, sir. My bad.
Every other movie I've seen him in, he's always either plain learned black person, or he just so happens to have the most flowery, the most eloquent language of everybody there. You know what I mean?
Guy is batting 1,000 on hot ass wives. I'm just putting it out there right
there. Okay, now I know who this is. Oh, I know who that chick is. All right, I just figured out who that chick is. Wow, right. She got old on me.
Right. But look at this. He went from the storyline of they broke my kneecaps, time we went out or something like that. I can't imagine what they would do to my wife, to get into a gun chase down the street within a car chase, to go like, hey baby, next time we go on this trip, you gotta come with me. It's gonna be
adventurous.
Like, hey yo baby, I was just thinking, it would be the best thing in the world if you and I just go to Arkansas in the middle of the goddamn 40s as black people. That would be the most sweetest thing in the world. No, we're not going there to see somebody. We're going there to stop somewhere and buck a you and come back to Chicago.
My God. Hey, you know what? Okay, if there's a quote from this episode, if there's a quote from this episode that sums up what I feel this show is going to be, for better or worse, it's right at the beginning when he said, you just try to cherish them and overlook their flaws. He said stories are like people.
Oh, shit.
Loving them doesn't make them perfect. You try to treasure and overlook their flaws. And then all of a sudden he's like, but I like pulp stories. That's the show in a nutshell.
Well, I thought that was actually a really, yeah.
Because you're not going to get anything.
That was actually a really good line to me because. Oh, no, sorry.
No, because I was like, I feel we're not going to get anything crazy deep like we think we're going to get. Like, it's going to do enough to kind of go deep into it. But I want to assume. I want to say after this episode, they might start going into the science fiction-y stuff. Like, it felt like this first episode is like, all right, let's get all this heavy-handed racism shit out of the way before we go weird. But it's like you said, D, you can't do that and then all of a sudden whiplash with, okay, monsters. And it's like, whoa, what's going on
now
here,
you got because here's the thing. You can look, it's like this. People say you can't blend stuff. You can't blend things. You can't blend it perfectly. And you're right. Usually when it comes to the first episode, you're going to be the most artistic. You're going to be the more overly, you're going to be more overly artistic. You're going to be more overly symbolic and all the rest of that in your first two episodes anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to try to get all that out the way so you can, all right, Anthony, you will agree with me on this. It's cheap story building. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. But it's not a bad thing. Let me make it very clear. It's not necessarily a bad thing, though. In this case, I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm 50.
To me, it depends on how they handle it. Like I was thinking about. Remember in the first episode of Game of Thrones, you see the what the White Walkers do. Like you see a White Walker or whatever, and then it's like you almost forget about it because they don't come back to it for like almost to the end of the season. You're like, oh yeah, these zombie things are out there or whatever. And it's like,
they do exist.
Horror and this shit. Yeah, and that's kind of what traditionally like a Lovecraftian story would be. You know, like you get these like I almost thought the town they were in. There's a story, and I think it's called the town of like Innsmouth, where these hybrid things from the deep ones, and they're and
Mhm.
like so the people are like half related to these things that live under the sea, and the town's kind of weird,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this might be a cool thing. Like they're looking at them weird, like, oh, these races, but really they're just monsters, or they're part of this cult or something like that. No, they're just regular racists that apparently jump in chart cars and have car chases and stuff like that. Um,
Anthony, are you mad
really,
they didn't have banjo music in the background?
oh,
I'm kind of mad
man,
about that.
but
I'm kind of mad.
because you know
I'm
what,
kind of.
you know what, that is the scariest thing to me. If I'm in the woods, right here, but oh shit.
You know what, man?
Like,
Considering Jordan Peele helped produce this show, I'm surprised he didn't like just throw that in there just for shits and giggles. Like, all right, throw it in there, guys. Let's go.
you got a
You know, the
pretty
one
mouth.
thing, the
She'd be
one
like,
thing I did
what?
question.
I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
There is one thing I did question. I always question when a movie does this with any period piece is when you put new music into the into the show.
That was
Like
weird.
I don't mind it, but sometimes it's just so jarring. It's always jarring for me. You know what I mean? I know where it's coming from, and
It works.
yeah, here's the worst part. I can't tell you whenever it really worked. I think it worked like one time when I was watching. God, I don't know. I don't know when it worked, but I get it. It's just, but it's jarring when it happens. I
Let me
heard
tell
that
you.
rap music. I was like, I see what you're doing. Stop.
Let me tell you.
I
Let me tell you
see
about
what
this.
you're doing. I like it, but no.
I did the same thing. Look, I love
And there's also
Django.
there's some
I love Django Unchained, but when they put that Rick Ross music, and I was like, all right, stop. What are
Okay,
we
you
doing
know
here?
what? I actually accepted that one.
Really?
That's what I accepted.
That's a good song.
It was
though.
jarring
That's a good song.
because it was
100 Black
so
Cops.
jarring. The second I heard, I'm like, oh shit, like Ross, nigga. It was so jarring and out
Okay.
of place.
Well,
I
because-
accepted it.
All right. All right. Fair. That's fair.
It was a good time actually. There is good music from back then. It was a good time, especially since one of them being a musician. It was a good time to actually bring some of that music to
Yeah.
to the forefront and something and you know I don't know. Like I think this is like this first episode was a lot of missed opportunities to me in a lot of ways, and I can't judge the whole series, of course, because I haven't seen it. But a lot of things just pissed me off, like the Jackie Robinson Cthulhu thing.
Okay, look, the Jackie. No, I was mad. It was Jackie Robinson.
As soon as you saw the 1442, I was like, yes, Jackie Robinson.
The second I saw 42, I was like, why it gotta be Jackie? It could have been the Negro League was still out then.
I mean, it could have been worse. They could have just said Babe Ruth. I would be like, oh, fuck you, show. What do you
Hey, but no, hold on. Why nigga can't like Babe Ruth though?
I mean, I like Babe Ruth too.
Hey, the Babe, man, it's the Babe. If you look, the one thing I learned is this: if you a Yankees fan, you a Yankees fan, nigga. So
racism be damned.
Hey, look,
racism be damned.
Also seeing the Martian chick and it's Jamie Chung, and I'm like, oh yeah, hi Jamie, you're gonna pop up back in the show, aren't you?
That was Jamie Chung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Now, so also, and like most of the Lovecraft monsters, they invade humans' dreams.
Yeah.
Like they manipulate them through their dreams and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I see where you're going with that. It was just like I don't want to see them beat Cthulhu. Like I don't want them to see like
the final boss is Cthulhu.
Right. Like and I have a feeling.
Oh god, it's gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like they're gonna have golden endings and they're gonna be perfect. And I'm like, no, that's not what.
No. If Courtney Vance dies, I'll be happy. I'll be like, all right, somebody died. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I would rather the monster break his kneecaps and then kill him. Then I'll be double effort right there.
Well, and also
my reconditioned kneecaps. No.
but also, they're I wonder what they're doing with Lovecraft. Like, I wonder what they're doing with Lovecraft. Like, are they going to say that his stories were based on truth and they're going to use it as a guide? Because it's like, hey, I'm going to tell you about this monster. And now this monster just shows up.
I hope it's
like,
not Buffy Monster today. I don't think it is, but, you know.
Oh, that sounds like some shit they will do, though.
I mean, it's like they toyed around with, like, when he was mentioning, like, Lovecraft and racism. I'm like, oh, you're going to talk about that. And it's dropped. I'm like, oh, didn't talk about it. This sucks.
And the other thing is, from the trailers, they're talking about how special they are, and it's like, no, you are not special. None of us are special. Like that's the point of Lovecraft horror. Like, is that humans are not special.
Yeah.
Where if they thought about it all, we're insects or drugs or food. Like you don't like. But I think they're gonna go that you're special or the chosen ones or something. So
Birthright
I
off
don't
the
know.
rip. So it's kind of like
We'll see.
you know, we'll see and stuff.
Birthright.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
Hey, did
like
y'all
if anybody,
catch that silver?
with the silver vehicle.
I was gonna say, did y'all catch that silver car? That silver car was gonna be something special. You're like, oh look, you see it, you see it. Yes, we all see
Yeah,
it.
we
That's
saw
that
it. It
Protac
hit the
Yes,
car.
I'm sure it's gonna do it.
Your silver
No,
car.
you know-
Your silver car has a force field. Gotcha. Cool.
yeah, look. You don't point out the uniqueness of item in a scene and not notice it. You know what I mean? You don't do that.
Right.
Hey, shout out to this. I always say that I kind of hate when shows do check marks in the show sometimes because it's like just do it and stuff. Like, cool, you got your gay guy in there. Did he have to get his dick sucked in the alley just to emphasize he's gay? Like,
Actually, to be honest with you, the 1930s and 40s when it came to homosexuality, them niggas was nasty as fuck. So
okay,
yeah,
But dude just
Keep it a
brushed
buck.
off.
keep
All
it in a
All
buck.
right.
Yeah.
fair. All right, fair,
My
sir.
bad. Continue what you're doing. He's like, no, wait a second. I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Hey man, come back, dog. All right, cool, whatever.
My man dipped with the quickness, like, shit, I'm out.
No, but he ran into the light. I got it.
Man, look, he had to. You gotta realize that dude was black and he was gay. Not only does that mean you getting your ass beat, but you will go to jail.
And other dude was light skinned and gay too, so you know
that light skin privilege. He was like, I'll be all right.
He's like, I'll be all right, man.
I'll be all right.
You won't be all right.
That dark nigga right there, though. But you know what? Look, I will say this: it's kind of funny with like everything when it comes to, I guess, the black side of Hollywood. You can't say shit about the acting. Everybody comes with it. Everybody's
all right.
I have noticed that about black actors as a whole, pound for pound. They give a fuck. Even if the script is terrible, they go for it.
Yes, they do.
So
Shit in. They can't afford to phone shit in. So they ain't
they can't.
You can.
Even on a terrible, look, me and Chris have seen this. Even on a terrible Tyler Perry movie, it's like, yo, why? You don't have to. You're not required to act today.
Because
You got to check.
They know that we gonna point to that one bad movie, that one bad scene, and they know Hollywood ain't gonna be like, nah, we good. So
we good. Nah, sorry, Morris, I can't let you in this movie.
I mean, you know, so a lot of these cats and stuff, the main character, was it Atticus and stuff, he was in the Five Bloods and stuff. His character is interesting. He wasn't really
also fuck him for having that name too. Fuck him for having that name. I know you're the protagonist. You don't gotta
Atticus Freeman. You see, Freeman.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I love black people. We just throw those names in there. We just do that. It's crazy. Now, but I like his character, these first episodes and stuff like that. Just, you know, the way he kind of operated and stuff. I was fine with him. He was great. Journey Smollett was her usual self. I mean, she was fine. I didn't really have an issue with her. Courtney Vance acting his ass off. Can't really complain. It's literally like all the acting, even the white people that were being racist. It's like,
hey, wasn't that my boy from Martin playing that sheriff?
Shit. Which one?
You know, the DJ. Guy's name. We met that band. We met him on when he was on Dream LLC. You know who I'm talking about.
Hold up, because I'm looking at him right now.
You already know who I'm talking about, but I think he did play the. I think he was.
No. This is somebody else. That's
somebody else.
Yeah, it's Jamie Harris. That's not him. That's not him.
Get the fuck out of here. Okay,
he almost looks like him and stuff, but yeah, it ain't him.
But yeah, but still.
But I will say this. No, I was gonna say that the one scene with the Sundown stuff, that was actually suspenseful. That was actually
they built it up because I never knew about that at all. That's the funny thing. It's like I didn't know they had this. This is a thing. I'm like, wow, okay.
You really now, hold on. Now I'm not trying to oh my god, you didn't know. I'm not going to do that to you, Chris. Not at all. But you really didn't know that was a thing.
I did not know that was a thing, which is weird because if I already knew about Black Wall Street, it's like, how the fuck did I know about this? God damn.
Okay. Like now,
Well-
sundown towns. Now, sundown towns like that, yes. Sundown towns like that, yes. It works just like that shit.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
yeah, and here's the funny thing. That was what the thing that always got black people when white people say, well, that happens in the South. That doesn't happen up north. All through Pennsylvania, there was a bunch of them shits. If it's dark, you better not be colored.
Fun story. The characters were in Massachusetts when they had the Sundown.
That's what I'm saying.
So...
Massachusetts was the same way. New York was the same way.
Well, it's funny, like people didn't know about Black Wall Street because when I was a kid, I didn't know about it. I didn't know it was in Tulsa, but you always heard about Black Wall Street.
Yeah. I mean, I had heard about it and stuff, and I heard how bad it was. So to actually see HBO show it, it's like, oh shit, like okay.
I had to find out. I had to find out that's actually in my family.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh really?
So yeah, deep. I found out almost. I want to say I found out at the same time my dad did. No, that's bullshit. But it's kind of like when I found out, my pops was like, well, look who passed the finish line. Like you figured it out, did you? I'm like, what? Yeah.
But there's so many stories like that. Remember last week, I just found out that there was the only coup to happen in America was this town elected all black officials. The white people came in, killed them all, or locked them up, and then just put white people in those positions. And so this shit you never hear about. They're not gonna teach it in school.
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
I didn't hear about it. Yeah, I heard about that last year, man.
Yeah,
that shit blew my mind too, man.
I mean, it's
but even
no.
It's not even just us though. I didn't know about the suffrage movement until I got to college. Like they didn't teach that shit.
Yeah.
Or like so I do think it's way important. I think like Patrick said, white people gonna eat this up. Like yeah, look at this racism.
Like, B, don't you feel bad? And I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, totally. I mean,
but to me it was heavy-handed.
Oh yeah,
it was heavy-handed. And it took away from the points where it should have been heavy-handed, where the subtlest stuff, the more subtle things would have made more sense. Also, if we're ever driving through any neighborhood and the cop starts harassing us and there's a roadblock, we are ramming that shit.
Yeah.
Stopping, be marched into the woods.
Yeah.
Like,
might as well. I mean, what's crazy? I think Atticus's niece, I think she's going to play a factor into the show because the fact that she drew all those monsters on the map the way she did it, I'm like, she knows something.
I will say this. What little black girl in the 1940s draws like that?
Might be an anomaly.
I'm not saying, now let me make this very clear. I'm not saying there weren't artistic black women that were into science fiction back then because, oh, hell yes, there.
So I think you just cut out. Yeah. But my theory on it is like in Lovecraft stories, people that are more psychically in tune doesn't actually mean that they read minds or anything like that. It just means that they're more attuned to more aware, right? So their dreams will be affected. So I think that she's getting dreams and she's marking on the map real stuff. I guess they're gonna say that about Lovecraft and maybe gonna say it about what's his first name? Mr. Freeman's first name? Atticus? No,
Atticus.
Atticus.
Yeah,
like,
Atticus.
I feel like they're gonna make him more psychically attuned to these dreams to understand this stuff.
I mean, that dream that he had at the beginning, that already told you right then and there, because like you said, you brought up he had that dream. He was during I forgot what war that he was a part of, but like he's dreaming that, and then all of a sudden it's mixed in with the Lovecraftian shit. He's like, the fuck is going on? And and all that stuff happens, and it's like, okay, cool.
And Amazon warriors, it looked like, and I don't know. Like, I want to give the show a chance, right? There's some things that pissed me off from a
narrative,
from a fan of that genre. Yeah, but like I said, the acting, I can't complain about the acting. The directing on some scenes that wasn't there. Like I said, the Sunday scene, even if that was just a short movie, we'd be praising it. Like, I'd be like praising this shit. Like, oh my gosh, like da 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 da. But but then monsters came out for no goddamn reason. And,
I mean, the monster
people
stuff was
transformed.
tense.
There's no.
But like seeing a guy get his arm ripped clean off, and again, I'm trying not to be realistic. Like, shouldn't you be dead and passed out on the ground? You're still okay, cool, fine.
Now, the only reason why I will let that go is because you want to make it as jarring as possible. Because your POV is the main characters. You want it to be like, the fuck is going on? You want to make it as that much as possible. Yes, you do. But at the same time,
but
that's fucking whiplash. That's fucking whiplash. And I'll be honest with you, the audience don't forget whiplash. We don't. I think people underestimate that shit. Oh, you can change the tone. No. The audience gets tired of that shit. You want to know how I know that shit? I'm a wrestling fan. I know people get tired of that shit, nigga.
Yeah,
and maybe if the rest of the show was more subtle, that jarring change wouldn't have been. I mean, would have been like more effective. You know what I mean? And I think take away that first diner car chase shit that was ridiculous. But take that away. And I think the show gets a lot better. A lot. Also, you don't have to mention segregation every 5 minutes. You can do subtle things without mentioning it. You guys live there. You know the segregation.
Well, I mean, that's why. Look. I know. D
what did it? No, you know what did it for me when it was in the bus. He's like, "Yep, we crossed some bridge named after some dead racist white man. Here's me, subtle."
I mean, look. I know you didn't like the James Baldwin thing, D. I at least appreciate they just montage that shit out instead of actually having a full blown.
There's nothing else you can do. That's what I call a Scorsese. Scorsese does that shit.
Yeah,
because Luke Cage would have been like James Baldwin
every 5 minutes. Dude, Luke Cage first 2 episodes, it was like Crispus Atticus, and I'm like, God damn it! Now you want to make me read the goddamn book, and then after that, it was like, all right, we're gonna stop talking about that, guys. I'm like, okay,
all right, we done.
We're done with Crispus Atticus. We're done. So it's like I said, the show gets the period, it nails it and stuff, but like I said, it was very heavy-handed on the racism, way more. And I know some people will like it. Me, I'm like in the middle where I'm like, it was fine, but goddamn, like you just racism, like Jesus Christ.
But Chris, you got to realize racism happens.
I mean, look, as long as you're not, like I said, I've seen some movies that clearly look like it was written by white people where they act like black and white people were just chilling with each other in the 1940s. I'm like, you full of shit on that one. You are not going to do this movie.
The only thing
I was going to say, even in Marvel movies, when Captain America got a black guy in the squad, I'd be like, wait, what, Cap? This
he's the one black guy. We clearly is like one black guy, one Asian. I'm like, there's a bit of racism here. All right, Cap. Hey, look, Dum Dugan got a little racist, and that dude was like, hey, I'm from Fresno, Ace. And I'm like, all right, cool.
The only thing is though, I do find it funny that I know country is country no matter where you at.
Yep. But
at the same time, I do find it funny that country in Massachusetts is very, very similar to country in the South. So I'm not saying that ain't happening. That's just funny.
I read all the title cards that said where they were, but I was still like, are we in Mississippi, Alabama? Like,
I mean, you know what? But you know what? I appreciate that though, because it was always this myth where, man, if you go up north, white people just love you. No, they don't. You talking about it?
That's some shit. Look, that's some shit white people said about themselves, and that's some shit niggas believe. That's how that works.
As much as they were over the top with the racism, I was like, you know what? At least y'all were honest about the fact that racism existed up north, and I was like, you know what? Cool. Which is why I get what you're saying, Anthony. Is this Mississippi? I'm like, no, this is up north. They were racist.
And you're right.
That's a myth. That's a myth. Even in school, I remember, like in history class, they made it seem like the North was like heaven. Like you go up north, whoa, man, it's
Meanwhile,
great.
Pennsylvania had the highest concentration of skinheads and white supremacists. And they're like,
man.
I mean, we in Maryland. What is it? I always got warned about Sunrise, Maryland, Rising Sun, Maryland, whatever. I'll stay away from there.
No, trust me.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 places in Maryland. As very blue state as Maryland is, there's a couple of them towns.
St. Mary's County, Cecil County.
Your car better not break down.
You better not break down, nigga.
Look, I've driven cross country. There are parts of Virginia. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You know what's scary? You know what's scary when you in the country of Maryland and your shit break down? Here's you. Wait a minute. Where the fuck we at? Salisbury. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
It's black people.
Like,
oh my god.
Oh, there you got me in Salisbury. Hey, thank you, officer. We're Negroes. Thank you. Thank you for helping us.
When you drive cross country and you stop at a small town for gas or something to eat, and everybody just looking at you, and you know that they can pretty much kill you and bury you somewhere, and no one would ever find you.
I'm gonna say that happened in Texas, but maybe I made it up in my head. But I kind of had a sneaking feeling that it may have happened in Texas. It was some small towns me and my dad drove through, and I'm like, we might get lynched here. I don't know. I can't tell.
You don't know. You don't know.
The most racist place I've ever been to was actually in Georgia. It was like a Denny's. We was like, I don't know where we was at. I was a kid. I really don't remember. We was like in the middle of fucking Georgia though. And that's all we felt with eyes on us and all that time. And I'm like 14 and I just seen Malcolm X for the second time in my life. And I'm thinking that every white person hates me. So
just got a chip on your shoulder, like wearing your Malcolm X hat the whole time.
I wish I did have one back there.
On two road trips, one, I was in Tennessee and I was talking to this girl or whatever, and then she was like, "What are you?" And I was like, "Oh, what? I'm black." And she was like, "No, but what are you?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, my church says that's an abomination." And I was like, "Oh, well, I know where I need to go now."
It's been a pleasure talking to you for this brief moment.
Can you please?
May God be with you.
Touch you. Good Lord.
I mean,
the other one.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the other one was with my Asian family, and we got to a restaurant, and they got there first, and I pulled up, and they were saying to themselves, "What's going on? Why don't you go in?" They said they wouldn't serve us. Like, what do you mean they wouldn't serve you? They said they were out of plate or something. I was like, what? And we saw this other family go in, and they served him right away, and then my uncle, and I was so mad about them. He just went in and bought all the food. Like it was showing them something. And I was like, no, you just gave them their money. Like it was bad. And they had like a little guy on a porch monkey on the side of this building, like a dark, tar faced baby sitting on the porch eating shit. And I was like, oh fuck, man.
You know what? I appreciate it, Atticus. Courtney Vance, Atticus's uncle. Like he's this person that does like guides for Black people, like where they can like stop and travel and stuff. And granted, that's kind of like what Green Book.
And that's actually true.
Yeah,
but that was true. People did that. But the thing about having a survival, you need that survival tool of knowing what's a safe space. I mean, that's like from the Underground Railroad type stuff. If this is where a safe harbor is, you can eat lunch, you can go to the bathroom, you can do all this other stuff. And having to update that's like we have a lot of unsung heroes in our community that went out and mapped out where these places were good. And like think about that. You're going out and you're testing how racist they are. You're even spending the food for me would be a big thing.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can't say.
I mean, that's why I appreciate, like I said, Carl Chase notwithstanding, I appreciate them going in there and be like, hold up, this ain't the black place that they said it was. Because even when they got in there, the two white people looked at him like, the fuck are you doing in this building? He's like, well, we're just going ahead and sit down over here. And I'm like, okay.
But I like to think there was like a star system. Like when we came in, they didn't say nigga.
I know, right?
They just looked at us. We still got our coffee. There was only a little bit of spit and maybe some piss. I don't know. But when they served us.
Like the dude behind the counter looked like he wouldn't say nigga, but the other white dude next to him would say it. That's how weird it looked. I was like,
he looked like he was
I was just mad he was all, well, gee golly, I know what you did to Miss Linda. I hate to see what you do to these black people.
It's like kid, you could have stopped them with Miss Linda and you didn't do it.
Well, you gotta understand, when I got there, Miss Linda was already on fire. Oh, it was such an awful thing. Oh, too bad I can't do nothing about it as a white person.
I mean, the most that happened to him, he get backslapped by some white dude. He ain't gonna get killed. It'd be like, you should be able to say black people.
You let that coon inside, letting all their nigger germs in here.
And she using the bathroom? Oh, man.
Hold on. And we got to keep it 100. She used the bathroom. Did she flush it? Let's keep it a buck. One of them said that. One of them. That's Carl
Hey,
Lee.
you know what I
Lee
thought
Carl.
was gonna happen? I did thought for a second when they were after that chase, there was gonna be a scene where you see like a row of police cars blocking the fucking out of town shit. I thought that was gonna happen for a second. I was like, okay, it didn't happen. Thank God. Whew.
You know what? You know what? Fuck this show. They got me. If they're gonna show these cops again, they gotta at least give me one time. If they don't give me this line one time throughout the whole series, personally in my book, it failed. And it's this: one cop with a row of cops behind him must do this. Well. If they don't pull that off, they have wasted my time. Yo!
I mean, and the crazy
You're
part
not
is,
lying.
I mean, because like you said, they built up that tension with the Sundown thing because they're in the woods, and then you realize the cop pulls up, but then you, in your head, you're thinking to yourself, how long was that cop following them when they were going around in circles?
That's what I was saying.
You know,
That's
and,
what I
then,
was
and it just slowly builds up, and it's like, oh shit, like, oh yeah, tense.
But
You
see,
know
that's
what?
my problem. Like they have the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go.
I said they have the ability. They're showing they have the ability to build up suspense, and that's what I want to see for the rest of the show. But even the trailers are showing me too much. You know what I mean? Like they're, like part of Lovecraft horror is the unknown. Your mind building to this infinite possibility of stuff, and they're just showing me way too much. They're showing me way.
I mean, the
too
previews
much.
for the season, I'm like, oh yeah, like that doesn't bother me personally and stuff because I'm gonna watch it anyway. But I know for other people, they get bothered when they be like, coming up this season on Lovecraft Country. I'm like, can we just get preview for episode 2? Don't do the season. Like,
I skip those all the time because Game of Thrones did that to me, where I just stopped looking the second the credits go up. Unless I want to hear who did the music or who wrote the show, I bounce.
okay,
Just to be real.
all right.
Just to be real.
Yeah.
Show's
That's
over.
fair. That's fair. That is fair.
But the second I see, was like, okay, show's over. I don't need to be here because you're gonna show me half the goddamn episode, and I gotta be all like, oh my God, Cersei's gonna kill herself, and she don't kill herself, and I done wasted my damn time. So I got PTSD, so I don't do that shit.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I just hate figuring out plots, and I don't want to figure out the plot. I want to be intrigued and amazed by the detective story. Like Perry Mason did a really good job this season of building on story, and I hope they do that. I hope we get a little bit more of. I don't know. I just don't want to be shown the monster right away, but they already showed me Cthulhu, right? So there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you building up to? Like, what are you building up to? What horror are you going to build up
I
to?
guess I don't fucking Secret Illuminati. I guess I don't fucking know.
And then in the trailer, they showed Cthulhu in a movie theater. So it's like I don't know. And maybe it won't be Cthulhu. Maybe one of his children. But
yeah, I mean it's funny thing about Perry Mason. Before we continue, I feel there's an age gap with Perry Mason because my parents are watching Perry Mason. My mom was like, "This is the Perry Mason I watched." And I'm like, "Don't know what to tell you, Mom. I like the show." She's like, "I mean, me and your dad like it, but it ain't the same." And I was like, "I know, it's."
I knew nothing about Perry Mason. I remember the show that came on in the 80s, like the music. I never watched it.
Yeah.
Right. But it was like up there with like Murder, She Wrote and stuff like that. So going to this, and it was like a hard-boiled detective drama from like the 30s or whatever, and I was like, I'm
I gotta check
for
that
this.
out.
Oh yeah, it's actually really good, but it fucked my
man.
parents up for a minute because they was like, "Hold up, Perry Mason's detective? What's going on here?" And I'm like, "Just watch it, Mom. Trust me, you like it." She's like, "All right."
Just gonna be real, Chris.
Only thing about that
I'm
show,
just gonna be.
I was gonna say, the only thing about that show is every scene is what character actor is gonna stick up next? I know that guy.
I know, right?
It's like they call in every favor of, look, man, we're doing this call Perry. Look, you 2 scenes. We need 2 scenes from you, and we can kill you off, or you can never come back. But like, we need you on this show, and that's what it was.
Is John Lithgow on the show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, is he on there for like 2 episodes and he gets killed?
Do you want to spoil it, Anthony?
No. Fuck no, because I'm gonna watch the show. Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. Hey, yo, Chris, I'm actually shocked. No Go-Go Band did a remix of that theme song, though?
I know that's the weird part. No remix, whatever. Maybe they'll do a season 2. I don't know.
I'm just saying nobody remixed the old theme song. Like no go-go band did that shit. That seemed like some shit Chuck Brown would have did.
Let me ask y'all this though. This is a bigger question. I feel because I don't know if anybody will ever bring this up, right? Because because in the Black community it's like taboo. Do you feel that we as Black people we're going to overvalue this show more than what it is? I know that's an easy question, but I know that's
I was thinking it because
on a scale of Black Panther to Roots, where you see it at?
We'll see. Number one, we'll see.
All right.
Number two,
I feel bad.
I'm just saying. Number one, we'll see. Number two, let's just be honest, Chris. There are people that say that the Parkers are the greatest show they ever made. So there you go. The fuck you want me to tell you?
You're right.
There's a critic right now. There's a white critic right now, nervous as fuck because he got that assignment.
I have to bring that up because I feel like if you're a white person watching the show, as long as if you don't have the I guess the width, I guess so to speak, to talk about the Black stuff in the show, don't talk about it. Just judge the show on what you see and just leave it at that. Because if you start saying some like,
they got to make it a Black thing.
Yeah, that kind of shit. It's like, okay, guys.
Like, look. My dad told me that there were Black people all in this neighborhood, and they never got pulled over by the policeman. So you calling my dad a fucking liar, bro? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I say ain't go that route. But I'm saying it's gonna be something like, well, I feel like they were too heavy-handed with the racism. I think even that is not gonna go.
Yeah,
over.
it's gonna be some. It's gonna be one or two outliers that ain't gonna give a fuck. Like, I don't know, the racism was a little over the head, beating you over the head, and I'm like, all right.
Hey,
you know who else got beaten over the head for no? You like no. You know who else got beat over the head for no goddamn reason? Black people. You gonna take this subtle ass writing, nigga? Yeah, I know it's kind of terrible.
I don't know. I just feel like white people shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. But it's like if you really about to say some racist shit, maybe you shouldn't review it. Just ease back on it.
I always say if you want to act like you a cowboy, fine. But just know this: if it's y'all burning a bunch of Indians and like raping a bunch of Indian women, y'all can't wince at the shit. Y'all did this shit.
You really can't.
Yeah.
It's like,
hey yo, it's like this. If the Cowboys beat the Redskins by 58 points, and it's like we just beating on them, stomping on them. No, be proud of what you fucking did, nigga. That's a squad, huh? Pride, motherfucker.
That's your ancestors.
Nationalism. Let's go.
But we know it's gonna be people up there like this show deserves an Oscar. First episode, show the Oscar. It's a TV show. It's a. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be like they deserve an Oscar. It's a TV show. It's an Oscar. Like,
there's some people that be saying that. I'm like, guys, chill, like chill. You know what? I feel it'll get an Emmy, but it won't get as much as Watchmen. Because I think Courtney B. Vance is going to probably get an Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
Old boy that played Atticus might get one, and maybe Journey Smollett, she might get it.
I don't think none of them get it. I think they all get nominated.
I think the show might get it for like best original series or some shit like that.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going. I don't think the show's going to win anything. But then again, I don't know what the show's going to show me.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're only judging on the first episode.
I'll put my brakes on that actually all the way.
If this wasn't a Black cast, would we even be talking about this show?
Good question.
It'll be like actually no. I think we would be talking about it on par with. Well, I ain't gonna say on par. I played kind of not on par with Game of Thrones, but it would be up there because of the whole fantastical element of it and stuff. To a degree,
I don't know.
It'll be
you take
because white people have been trying to find another Game of Thrones, and they're trying to get something. So as soon as they saw Lovecraft, they'd probably be like, "Oh
this
shit,
ain't Game of Thrones. This is you know what? I hate saying it like this, and because it's not like it, but it is like it. It is let the Negroes try. I hate saying it like that because here's the thing. There's the one thing I learned about the game is that there is people in Hollywood that try shit in earnest Much like politicians, it's a fucked up game, but they do try in earnest to make shit happen.
Yeah.
And that's your result. It's like, you know what? That doesn't make black people look good. You gonna take it or not, nigga?
I mean, because it's been that renaissance. I think when after Jordan Peele did Get Out, it felt like it was this renaissance of like, we're going to do racial horror stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool.
But if you look at HBO, go ahead, I was sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's one of the reasons why we gotta support it, because we know that it's kind of like you can't give a bad performance because they will shut you out. Like it didn't work. Like if Black Panther failed, we wouldn't have got another all black.
Hey, look, it sucks, but at the same time, I told D, me and D were talking about this. We did Tyler Perry. I was like, I feel also at the same time we've hit that spectrum much like it was in the '90s where we have a lot of black stuff, so we don't have to like. It's like, hey, we can like anything. Like, I don't have to like Empire, but I will watch this show instead, you know, and it's still going to get supported regardless. It's still going to get the ratings. Like, Empire going, 6 seasons is a miracle in and of its fucking self, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think,
but I feel like
I think this is one of those situations where, with like Empire, I don't say that was lightning in a bottle. I think that was like, one of these dumbass shows that black people were going to put out was going to hit it anyway.
So this all Taraji and Terrence Howard. It was like, oh shit, Hustle and Flow reunion. That's what they went for.
Not only did that pairing work, but black people ate it up. And then let's just be real, white people, this is good.
It's like, oh no.
Let's be real, white people like Empire. So
at that point, you're just like, you know. But like I said, for the first episode and stuff, it did its job and stuff. And I'm hoping that after this, it's like, all right, let's go into the fantastical. You got your monsters in there, so let's just go crazy. You went to the mansion with the people with the silver car, so let's get weird. Let's go.
Oh, I am also fully prepared for them to go through every Lovecraft book and just reference the living Jesus out of all of them. I am ready. I know it's coming.
Man.
All right. I'm not at fuck this show yet. But I'm not at like, oh, this is
the chat, I could tell that you were like teetering. You were in the middle, like, what's going on, show? What's going on here, show? Yeah. Well, it's happening.
Like I said, I just want to see where it goes. So it looks all right right now.
The Sundown thing saved it for me, because after that car chase, I was like, all right, well.
Oh no, guys, you don't understand. Hey guys, you understand? D, you don't understand this, right? The show started at 9:00. Off rip. Anthony was like, "What the fuck is this shit? Why is there a guy with a bat hitting a Cthulhu?" And I was like, "Oh boy, here we go."
I didn't have my phone on me the whole entire time. I wish I saw that shit, man.
I'm not. See, I wouldn't even. Dude, I'm not even going to live tweet this show, because it's like, no, I'm just going to watch the show, because I feel like live tweeting it, you kind of miss out on certain things when you're trying to live tweet and get the jokes off while you're watching. It's like, nah, fuck that. I'm just going to watch the show, because I learned my lesson at the Game of Thrones. Like, I watched Game of Thrones and I was live tweeting like the final season and stuff, and I was getting my jokes off, and then I was like, all right, let me rewatch the show after I've live tweeted just to get the full spectrum of everything. And it's like, all right, so this time I'm not live tweeting. I'm just gonna watch it and be done with it. So it worked out. It worked out. But
episode two. I'm still gonna be open. I'm gonna be open-minded to hopefully get.
You do realize you do realize, much like Lucas, you're in for the ride. You're locked in. You're already on this episode, sir. You're locked in. You can't jump out of this. You can't.
You know what? It's like, what's bad is, because I'll say I hate this shit, but I'm still watching it, so you still get it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you if I love it or hate it. I'm still watching. You still win. Fuck you.
I hate you, HBO. I hate you. Kiss my ass. It's like, we got the ratings. We got them. We got them. We got the ass now. It's like, man, it's like Lena Waithe, The Chi. Like, The Chi, like, look, I played catch up with that show. That is a show that just fell off. Like, that shit, like, jumped the shark. As soon as that dude got hit with them sexual allegations in, like, The Chi season 3, they killed him off episode 1. I was like, whoa, like, you just killed the dude off. Like, damn, like, y'all poochie. Wow.
What? They ain't playing no games with that.
They were not playing any games. They killed his ass off screen. They didn't even say what happened. It was just, he's dead. I'm like, what? What happened? So we'll see.
I'll also say this is the good time to show a show like this, right? Because there's nothing else must see coming on Sundays, right? So
yeah, I mean that or Perry Mason. I don't know if Perry Mason is HBO Max only or if it's on HBO. It might be on HBO too, but I don't know when Perry Mason comes on HBO. So
I only have streaming stuff, so I didn't even know Perry Mason was coming out. And I
I
was
mean,
like,
it's on
Perry
HBO because
Mason,
my parents watch it on HBO, so I don't know what time it comes on. So it might come out. It might come on Sundays, maybe.
But it's done now. So it was last season. Last episode was last week. So
I need to
this is a
talk
good
with
time
somebody. I need to talk with somebody about this show. I'll let D watch it before we recap that. I might get you on that one because that was a good damn show. I was like, this is fucking good. Like, well, D's not on, but the point where he actually became a prosecutor, I was like, thank you, finally, finally.
Yes. And the way they went about it, was I'm liking this version. I'm liking this version.
Once you get past the initial episodes, it's like, all right, it's finally like catching and stuff. It's like, all right, cool. Because the first two episodes, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this. And it's like, okay, cool, we're good, fine.
Yeah, man. I want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it for D in case he's still listening, but like it's definitely worth the watch. So I think it's a good time for like experimental TV shows to come out and just see it. And so like there's nothing else I'm watching on Sundays, right? Like I was watching Dexter,
I fell off on Dexter. So when everybody got pissed off at that show, I was like, I guess I'm glad I stopped watching at a certain point. All right, cool, so
yeah, after like season I think 3 or 4, the show is
I mean,
it doesn't really
actually before we get
and the ending is bad.
Before we go, you being the Lovecraft person that you are, I know D is too. Do you feel if somebody, say after this first episode, looked up Lovecraft show, it might hurt how they're watching it? Or do you think it might enhance their viewing? Or you think it just varies from person to person?
You mean if they already knew about Lovecraft coming into this?
If they only knew it like me, I'm surface level with Lovecraft, right? Like I know of certain things, but I'm not deep into it. Like I know you and D are like deep into it. So like y'all know that. But like say for somebody like me, if say after this I decide, all right, I'm gonna look up some Lovecraft stuff, do you think that will hurt or hinder the watch experience, or do you think it probably won't matter?
I think that it would. So Shugnigrok, right? The monsters they mentioned in the woods today, they're kind of completely different than what they are. So like I was expecting something else, and so I think that it'll give you a good reference point, but I think that you're able to compartmentalize your expectation from a source material to the show better than I am, right? So I think that it would inform your watching more than it does me, where I'm kind of going, no, that's not it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like, no, why?
No, right. Like, wow, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna see these goat tree leg things come out the phone. No, I'm not. I'm
actually, you'll probably be like, you and D sound like me with the comic book movies to a degree. So it's like, damn. So this is what it feels like to be a normie on this shit now. Fuck.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
I would go through this season as I'm, because also if we're gonna review it all the time, I would like to see your reaction to it just coming in blank, right? And then after,
because I am coming in blank.
Right. And then maybe after the season, like me or Dio send you a couple of videos so you get up to par of the things they referenced,
Yeah.
And see what you think the comparison is. And some things, one reason why Lovecraft is also really hard, they've had trouble bringing it to screen since the media's existed, is because a lot of it takes place off screen, where your imagination builds up the horror. And then you also get the reaction of somebody seeing, like, if you see people who see Cthulhu in the flesh go mad. Right. And how do you put something visually on the screen that makes someone go mad? Like
it's kind of hard. It's very hard.
It's right. And Cthulhu is pretty mundane compared to the horrors that are like the thing they reference in the woods, the mother of monsters, is truly grotesque. Like Cthulhu was birthed out of her.
Yeah.
And they get that in a visual, like even did you know the Natalie Portman movie that came out, the Color is, and the original, the Lovecraft story is Color of Space, but there was something with Natalie Portman with colors. It went to a mutated
Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Yeah, me and D saw Annihilation, and that was a very trippy ass movie. And so that was actually Lovecraft inspired.
That's based off of Lovecraft.
That makes sense because that fucking creature that they were fighting was very weird. So that makes, God damn it. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. That makes a lot of sense now.
When you go a lot of our pop culture has so many freaking, even Dexter, what I was just talking about. A lot of our pop culture has even True Detectives. The first season of True Detectives is based in Lovecraft mythos.
Dee mentioned that. That's why I was like, oh, I mean, I love the first season. It's fucking phenomenal and stuff. So
So what Lovecraft did was he made these pantheon of monsters and creatures and gods and stuff like that, but then he left it open so anybody could use it. So people have added on to it, and because of a free pantheon of gods and mystical stuff, people just kept taking from it. And then I think like even Game of Thrones, the what lives, oh man, what lives will never die, or what's dead will never die. That line from the Theon Greyjoy's people.
Yeah.
Pirates. Them pirates.
Right.
The Grey Worm. That Grey Worm. That Grey Worm. Fuck. What the
Theon
fuck,
Greyjoy,
man? I said the wrong thing. Yo, fuck.
It's a Grey Worm.
But Grey Worm. I'm like, why am I thinking of that beautiful man? I'm thinking of the wrong person.
But when they're like, what's dead will never die, they're talking about Cthulhu. Like they're referencing Cthulhu. And even what's the writer of the books? George R. Martin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He even wrote a story with Jaime Lannister versus Cthulhu, and Tyrion trying to figure out how they'll survive and stuff. He wrote a short story about it. Like it's so much of our culture that when they get close to actually telling a story and name it something like Lovecraft Country, I get excited. And I think that it's a long-winded say is that I think you'll do a better job. I'm just curious of your response going in blank.
Yeah. I know D was off for a minute and stuff, but like I said, D, you and Anthony are like more deeply in tune with it than I am. So I was like, yeah, y'all caught it more than me. So I was like, this is what it feels like to be a normie. Damn it. Damn it. But I think that's a good thing, though. I mean, people going into it and stuff. But I was just asking that question more so because I was like, yeah, I think we're going to overvalue it, but we'll see how it goes as the season goes and stuff.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say too deeply into the mythos of Lovecraft. Actually, for me going into it, I asked Anthony. He gave me a whole bunch of fucking videos. God damn! But I went through each and every one of them though. And what I'm interested in, I told that to Anthony that I have an appreciation for Lovecraft because he literally wrote American horror. He was one of the main people to really add to American horror. And you see how everybody has added to it in their own type of way. And I find that very, very fucking fascinating. And then the fact that I had to know everything about his life is like, what? This asshole created, pretty much got everything rolling. Everything that, pretty much two of the things that have fucking scared me pretty much came from Lovecraft. And that's pretty much how the Alien series is. That's a viral horror. That fucking monster that you really can't describe, that's chasing you, and you're the only one, and no one can say. That shit came from him. That pussy motherfucker. It came from him. But then like I said, and I don't like toot my own horn, but I write and I can appreciate the hell out of that. I really can. How your fears pretty much made up what scared everybody in different ways, but it's the same type of fear. You just gave it a name. It was Cthulhu. Your boogeyman was that. So you know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool as shit to me. So I have appreciation. I just want to see how the show flexes with it. They have a lot to work with, and to be honest with you, they're not going to do nothing that's going to be so damaging to the Lovecraft. You know how many shitty Lovecraft stories have come out?
Sure. I worked at a
half
video.
of them were made by him. Okay, so there's nothing being tainted. I can say that there's nothing being tainted. I would love to see what black people do. Well, at least this black woman, and that's a big thing. This black woman does to it. I would love to see what happens.
I worked at a video store, and the VHS tapes and stuff that we have with the horror section. I remember at the time when I was doing the hand count for it and stuff, and I just happened to look on the back to see the description of some of these horror movies, and it was like I could say maybe 10 of these movies were very Lovecraft inspired, with 5 of them being very heavily influenced on Cthulhu. That was the big thing for 5 of them. I'm like, huh. And these are movies I never heard of. They might have popped up on TV, and I think it was one of them starred fucking Rob Lowe, and I think it was like the 80s. So and I was like, man, when the hell did he make this? Like, Jesus, and it's just it runs deep. It runs crazy deep.
Even in Rick and Morty's intro, Cthulhu's chasing him at one point. Like it's crazy. And again, like Dee said it beautifully. Like, just your fear informs your work, right? Your emotions, your experiences. But Lovecraft's fear informed his work. He was afraid of the ocean. That's why because he didn't know what was down there, and he populated it with all sorts of monsters because he was afraid of it. He was afraid of other minorities and races. So he poured that into his work. He's a very sad man. Very sad. Died a very sad, sad death. I mean, was anti-Semitic, but married a Jewish woman. It is what it is. Like, and I think that line you pointed out before of, people are. Oh, you said it before, and I just watched it. But the people are complex, or stories are like people.
Yeah, they're flawed.
They're flawed. I pity the person. But also, I mean, when you hear that poem about nigger poem he wrote or whatever, that's hard. That's hard to digest. It's hard to digest.
Oh, it is. I mean, and I think a lot of people are going to probably hope that they talk about the racism. I'm like, I don't think the show's going to talk about Lovecraft racism.
What's the point? There's racism everywhere else. At this point, it will just be what victory do you get out of there? The person that made the thing you love in horror is a racist. Who gives a shit?
I mean, it's kind of like, how people felt about Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. Like, how come there's no black people in Tolkien stuff? And I'm like,
I got to be honest with you. I don't think Tolkien ever even met a black person. So
I mean, look, and I love the Lord of the Rings. The thought did cross my mind. Like, at the same time, I'm like, would I really want black people during this whole thing? Nah, I'm good.
Actually, it's kind of funny. Me and my wife today just said, she was like, my wife was like, ooh, I do want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Belfast. I do want to go to Belfast, but probably not. She's like, how many black people live in Belfast? I'm like, ooh, baby, that's like, we looking at like 2,000. She's like, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
And then I said the same, like, I want to go to Glasgow. What about you? Like, what about Glasgow? I was like, yeah, we good.
But I was.
He don't know. Like, he didn't know. He, like, I don't expect black people to be there.
Yeah, I really don't.
And it's also ignorance and opportunity, like you're saying. Like, and we're lucky to be in a place or a space where we can meet people from different cultures, different parts of America, or even just interact with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they didn't have it there. I'm not making excuses for them. Ignorance is ignorance. But on my Europe trip, I had a great time. Coming down because I landed in Ireland and went around, drank with a Scottish gangster. I didn't experience racism until I got to Italy. So you never know.
I mean, your miles will vary and stuff. So.
Hey, look, I expect that. That's what I told my wife too. Then again, we could be all good. Let's go to London, nigger. Wow,
wow. I just stepped foot in the UK. Hey. Damn.
Got off just got off the plane.
Get off the plane.
We didn't even get off the plane. God.
But I think at this point the contribution or the snowball that Lovecraft gave writing or gave our American mythos, I think it's bigger than him now, right? So I think he's a footnote in it. It's people have continued to add on and improve his work and move forward. So, you can tell a story with that pantheon without having to cancel it because of the very, 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 very flawed man, very sick man.
But anyways, I guess we'll end it here and we'll see you guys next week for episode 2. Message. Thank you for that message, Anthony. Thank you. Just have the more you know from NBC. The more you know. Felt this whole episode 1 should have had that for Lovecraft Country. The more you know. Racism.
Don't wait for that. Wait for that one part. Every 5 seconds, a black person is pulled over.
Listen.
Oh, I was waiting on that for some reason.
Hey, listen, man. Like
In
the little.
1942, 24 black men were lynched in. I know, man.
Hey,
Come on.
listen. I talk about that montage. I ain't gonna lie. Like it did hurt me to see that black family had to wait for the white people to finish cackling it up before they can get some goddamn ice cream. I was like, damn, that is fucked up. When they were just sitting there like, I can't yell at these white people to get served me. God damn. I was like, oh shit.
Now you know what? I know that.
Age.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Are you gone again, Dave? Are you gone?
Huh? No.
Going where?
All right.
Going where? What's up?
No, I just thought it. No. I thought you started talking, you all blanked out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
What were you about to say, D?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we'll see you next week for episode 2 with more comedy and more insight. It should be very fun. So catch you guys later. Peace out.
Yes.